somebody that has a retail store that sells vegetables or is a kind of a distributor for vegetables in the market, a distributor for steel. Those people in this country still find it very difficult to get good credit, and that's the segment that we're very focused on, right? Because often, the kinds of needs that banks have in terms of documentation, in terms of requirements, in terms of job stability, is not what this profile has at all, and therefore they tend to be underserved from that perspective, especially when you're talking about the guys that want 25 lakh loans. That segment tends to be a bit underserved.
You have been a banking aspirant. Any interest in applying for the small bank payment bank license, or would you prefer to wait for the universal bank licenses?
I don't think the small bank licenses make sense, for somebody like us. We'll explore the payments banks because, in the current construct, at least, per the definition, NBFCs can hold a payments bank as a subsidiary. We'll explore that, and we are in the process of exploring that right now, though we've not reached anything definitive. So, as far as that is concerned, it's still at the exploratory phase.
And if I look at your profits, or if I look at the numbers, what you've reported for the quarter gone by, PAT was flat, disbursements were flat, and NPAs have gone up. Now, I want to see numbers from you, which I saw in 2008 and 2009, where growth was strong, NPAs were down, and profit was ballooning up. When will that time period come back?
Nikunj, I think your guess is as good as mine. Obviously we're kind of working very, very hard to control collections and improve our NPAs. But when the market is going to turn, people initially had estimated October. Now people are pushing that time frame out. I don't think anybody's got a good crystal ball. Obviously, the government has to do their bit to kind of to get people to spend more, both on the infrastructure spending. Though a lot of it has been talked about, we're not seeing enough of it on the ground yet. And though we've got to give the government enough time to do it. Definitely their intent is very positive, but when exactly those funds are going to start hitting the ground is really the big question. And I really don't want to hazard a guess, whether it's going to be 1 quarter away, 2 quarters away. But definitely, as we look at the next 4 or 5 year horizon, I definitely see the opportunity being there.
Seconds, final question. Can I read in between lines, and can I assume that Q2 will not be an extraordinary quarter?
Again, obviously I can't comment on this quarter. Our tongues are fairly tied there, so I have to refrain from answering that.
All right, we leave it at that. Thanks very much for joining us and giving us an analysis of your business and the growth prospects, sharing with us those insights for the near term as well. That's Chola Investments, which is down about 2% as we speak. But all eyes are on the big verdict with far-reaching ramifications. The Supreme Court will pronounce its judgment on the coal blocks allocated between 1993 and 2010. All of which, according to the Apex Court, are illegal. Gargi joins us to break down what to expect from the Apex Court's decision. Gargi.
You rightly mentioned it's one of the most important decisions that we are seeing coming in from the Supreme Court for the steel space and the power space as well. Remember that all the coal blocks allocated between 93 and 2011 have been declared illegal by the Supreme Court. What are the possibilities today? We know that the non-operational coal blocks, they are at a very high risk of being deallocated. More or less, the Supreme Court's tone sounded in the last hearing that they are going to go ahead, deallocate at least the non-operational ones. Now, the government has been appealing to the Supreme Court to not cancel the 46 operational coal blocks. The Supreme Court will give its verdict on these 46 blocks today, whether they will be allowed to go ahead and operate the coal block as they were doing earlier, or whether it's the license is going to be taken away from this private miner and given to government or to Coal India. That was another point raised by the government. The third one is that if there's going to be any penalty at all for the operational coal blocks, 295 rupees per ton on a retrospective basis was what we had heard in the last hearing. Whether it's 295 or it could increase to about 500, 600 rupees, that's something that we will hear from the Supreme Court today. And the fourth and the other important one being the kind of treatment that will be meted out to the coal blocks belonging to only PSU companies and the ones that are in a JV with a private and a public company. There could be a differential treatment because the Supreme Court in the last hearing had asked the government to chalk out a list of the coal blocks which have been awarded to PSUs and in JV with PSUs. These will be the 5 important points. Talk about the stock impact. Hindalco as well as JSPL will be the ones facing the biggest impact here. There could be an impact of almost 18 rupees coming in for JSPL if the Utkal B1 coal block is taken away. For Hindalco, almost 20 rupees if the Talabira 1 and the Mahan coal block is not there. We also have Kotak saying that for JSPL, the fair value could drop very sharply if the operational as well as the non-operational coal blocks are taken away from them. Few mid-caps also that could be in focus. Usha Martin, Prakash Industries, Monnet Ispat, all of them could be under the risk of deallocation.
Right, Gargi, lovely analysis. Thanks for breaking it up for us. And before we take a break, let's go to Sandeep Bagle for some money-making ideas. And Sandeep Bagle, no one is surprised. HUL is the only game in the town today.
Absolutely, Nikunj. When the market is down, I think this stock thrives or outperforms. So I would go with a buy in it. Buy a HUL with a stop loss of 754, target of 778. And a sell in the Bank of India, stop loss 270, target 255.
Okay, those are Sandeep's ideas. Sell on Bank of India with a target of 255. That's what he has stated. The other idea also, that's a buy one coming in from Sandeep. Keep an eye out for his ideas as we speak. We'll take a break then. When we come back, get you some more market perspective.
The talk is all about the markets.
The hits and the misses.
The ups and the downs.
What news is moving the stock?
And what's shaping trade.
Stay one step ahead of the market.
Get street smart on Market Up.
Only on ET Now.
Presented by Hettich Fittings.
Surround your senses with the world's first curved UHD TV from Samsung.
तो बार-बार घर बदलता रहता है, हम कहाँ ढूंढते फिरेंगे? किधर है, किधर है, किधर है?
अब नहीं होगा। प्रिया ने कहा हर महीने किराया देने से अच्छा है अपनी EMI भरो।
तो हम किराएदार से मकान मालिक बन गए।
मतलब ये घर तुम लोग का है?
सच्ची?
But seriously guys, किश्तों से रिश्ता जोड़ो। किराया तो पराया होता है।
आसान किश्तों में होम लोन्स, बैंक ऑफ इंडिया।
सच है विकसित भारत का सपना, दुनिया में अव्वल देश है अपना, सब मिलकर खुशहाल मुल्क करे, समय पर सही केंद्रीय उत्पाद शुल्क भरे।
Celebrate this festive season with a Skoda Rapid.
Skoda, simply clever.
You work most of your life making your money. You carry it wherever you go. For the food, the clothes. To get what we want. To keep what we need. My money, my honey, and my broker, Mr. Soni. So that Chunnu Mundu can fly. And that smile, when you hit the 60 high, don't hold on, they need to move. No, that won't work.
You snooze, you lose.
Moving is living. So move your money with Investor's Guide. Only on ET Now.
Welcome back. Look at the Nifty intraday graph, and honestly a day before expiry the Nifty is just not going anywhere. That's because HUL is on one side, which is the big propeller, and you got TCS on the other side, which is the big drag. So both the heavyweights are really counterbalancing the Nifty move today. This is a good looking graph, this is a good looking chart, and if you really want to underline a stock which has defied all the popular perception is HUL. 9 on 10, no, 10 on 10 brokerages call it expensive, yet the stock is sitting at a record high. Avinash Gunashekhar, my question to you is, why? Why is HUL trading at 750 plus? And I'm sure you will agree with the crowd when they say HUL is expensive.
I think, Nikunj, Hindustan Lever earlier was also expensive, and having moved up also it's become even more expensive. But I think the point to drive is that lever is always considered to be a safe defensive bet in volatile markets. I think people move to defensive categories, either HUL or ITC, when the market cracks or there is a steep amount of correction. More importantly, lever has always been in the in the news, considering that possibly another buyback could be on the card. So I think these things apart, the fact of the matter is that I think at least in the coming months, at least October could be a more volatile month. We have always seen October to be not a good month for the market. So clearly I think defensives are gathering steam. You could see possibly some other defensive names also possibly getting accumulated from the pharmas or maybe from the IT pack also. So clearly I think the rate sensitive and the cyclical pack could possibly take a pause. We have seen a big rise in the past few months. So clearly I think lever stands out in that category, that clearly I think it has defied market logic of being the most expensive stock.
Avinash, we're completely running out of time. So very quickly, your top ideas, your top 3 ideas at this point.
I think, clearly I think we have been very positive on the textile space. This is not a kind of a glamorous kind of area, but clearly in terms of earnings, I think stocks like Satlaj Textiles or typically Indocount Industries, we have been telling our clients to actually accumulate these stocks on every decline, because we feel that the core earnings are going to grow strongly. The balance sheets are pretty clean, and very clearly I think somebody for a value investor, I think it clearly remains that these kind of ideas could throw up 25-30% comfortably over the next 12 months. So I think clearly I think from a value pick strategy, both these stocks look attractive.
Great, thanks for those ideas. Motherson Sumi is a breakout trade that we'll address in just a bit. Good move, price and volume wise, coming in on Motherson Sumi at a price of 402, snapping a 3-day fall coming in for this stock. In the meanwhile, in some other news, an important development, India has successfully placed Mars orbiter Mangalyaan into the Martian orbit, creating space history. Prime Minister Mr. Modi congratulates ISRO scientists for launching Mars orbiter Mangalyaan in its very first attempt, calling it a proud moment for all Indians as India becomes the first Asian nation to join the elite club of Martian explorers.
History has been created today. We have dared to reach out into the unknown and have achieved the near impossible. I congratulate all ISRO scientists as well as all my fellow Indians on this historic occasion.
आज मिस्टर मेहरा का बेटा मैथ्स में फेल हो गया, इसीलिए वो सीधे गए शहर के बेस्ट ट्यूशन टीचर के पास और बोले,
तो अब ये कल से टॉप करेगा ना?
ये तो आप मानोगे कि इतनी जल्दी रिजल्ट्स नहीं मिलते, लेकिन अगर मैं यही बात आपसे इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स के लिए कहूँ तो आप मानोगे? मान जाइए, अच्छे रिटर्न्स पाने के लिए टाइम दीजिए. लॉग ऑन टू janotomano.com from Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
India's fastest exchange. BSE. Experience the new.
The land of Madhya Pradesh is a land abundant with rich soil, water and minerals. With all types of energy, focused on growth and progress. Its central location has added to its connectivity. Led by visionaries with the backing of a stable government, Madhya Pradesh has grown to be a great investment opportunity. This heart of India, where the future isn't just bright, it radiates with the promise of a better tomorrow. Pragati ki udaan bharo, मध्य प्रदेश में इन्वेस्ट करो.
ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर समिट में आइए आपका हार्दिक स्वागत है।